Alright, looks like we have some breaking news this afternoon because I wasn't expecting to make a video today. I thought to myself, I'm not making a video today. I'm too tired. I've been busy all day. I literally just got back home. But then all of a sudden we have some breaking news. I saw Hunter Biden has been indicted on 3 felony gun charges. And I felt like I had to cover it because, I have to give my opinion on it. And, first I'll give you the facts, and then I'll give you my opinion at the end. So, let's get to it now. Let's start with this Associated Press article. There we go. Sorry about that. I accidentally opened that. Alright, here we go. Hunter Biden indicted on federal firearm charges and long-running probe weeks after plea deal failed. Well, if you remember, there initially was a plea deal. Excuse me. Is initially a plea deal, which fell through, and it was embarrassing for not only Hunter Biden's attorneys and Hunter Biden himself, but for the Department of Justice, because it was obvious the DOJ is trying to give a sweetheart deal to the president's son. So the judge started asking questions about this plea deal, and neither Hunter Biden's attorneys nor the Department of Justice had good answers. So it's like, okay, fine, go back and renegotiate this plea deal because this plea deal is ridiculous. So no deal ever came about, and now all of a sudden Hunter Biden is indicted on 3 federal gun charges. So now let's get back to this. Hunter Biden was indicted Thursday on federal firearm charges, the latest and weightiest step in the long-running investigation to the president's son. Biden is accused of lying about his drug use when he bought a firearm in 2018, a period when he acknowledged struggling with addiction to crack cocaine, according to the indictment filed in federal court in Delaware. President Joe Biden's son has also been under investigation for business dealings. The special counsel overseeing the case has indicated the charges of failure to pay taxes on time could be filed in Washington or California, where he lives. The indictment comes as the congressional Republicans pursue an impeachment inquiry into the Democratic president, in large part over Hunter Biden's business dealings. Republicans have obtained testimony about how Hunter Biden used the Biden brand to drum up work overseas, but they have not produced hard evidence of wrongdoing by the president, blah, blah, blah. 3 indictment counts that Hunter Biden lied on a form required for every gun purchase when he bought a Colt Cobra Special in Wilmington, Delaware gun shop in October 2018. He was charged with 2 counts of making false statements by checking a box falsely, saying that he was not a user or addicted to drugs, and illegally possessing the gun as a drug user, and a 3rd count possessing the gun as a drug user. That sentence wasn't, I don't think, structured right. He's charged with 2 counts of making false statements by checking a box falsely, saying that he was not a user or addicted to drugs, and of illegally possessing the gun as a drug user, and a 3rd count for possessing the gun as a drug user. Okay, I get it now. 2 counts are punishable by 10 years in prison, while the 3rd carries to 5 years in prison. Among conviction, here's the indictment. A felony gun charge, blah, 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 okay. Okay, the rest of this is, basically nonsense. So we have, here's the plea deal. Let's see whether I can... the plea deal. I'm sorry, the indictment. Plea deal. Good God. So this is the 3-count indictment. I'm not going to read all this because, I don't think it's really that blah, blah, blah. This signature. This is the actual indictment. Now, let's go to the CNN clip, which I found, which goes to further detail on this. And then I'll give you my opinion. Oops. And then we'll probably wrap up at that point. So give me a minute. I should have had this set up before, but of course I didn't. The hell? Now I'm kind of confused on how to... Alright, here we go. Sorry about that. Let me put on my headphones so I can hear what's going on. My headphones are actually pinched here. Give me a minute. Sorry about that. and we'll watch this, and then I'll give you my opinion on why this is happening at the end. So let's play the clip.
And this is a historic moment, the first time DOJ has charged the son of a sitting president. Your reaction to the news?
Well, Boris, I really think, the first time we had a charge against a former president, it was important that prosecutors really took their time and built strong cases based on compelling evidence. And I'm afraid the prosecutors have not done that here. I certainly, if I were making history.
Oh, no, of course not. Of course not. When it came to Trump, they did definitely prove their case, and they definitely had enough for the indictment. Now, all of a sudden, when it's Hunter Biden, it's like, I don't think they have proved their case enough for this indictment. How convenient, huh? Unbelievable.
Would not want to make it with this set of facts and these laws. I think that this case is weak. It's very, very rarely charged, this section on being a.
Oh, yes, it's weak, but indicting a sitting president of the United States on improperly holding the classified information, even though most presidents are able to keep classified information, declassify it however they want. But since it's Hunter Biden, now all of a sudden it's a weak case, and this is very rarely charged, and and let's make all these excuses for Joe Biden and the Biden family.
An addict in possession of a weapon. So I think they have a lot of problems, both on the factual side, which is why it's very rarely charged, and on the legal side. After the Supreme Court's decision in the Bruen case on the Second Amendment, a lot of legal observers think that all these gun possession statutes are in jeopardy. And we know that Hunter Biden's lawyers will fight vigorously on the legal front, saying that after the Supreme Court's decision that this conviction could not stand. So I think they've got a lot of trouble here ahead, and we'll see how it plays out. But I think it's inadvisable.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because as an outside observer, it seems fairly simple in terms of evidence. He signed a form claiming that he had not been using narcotics, and then he later writes a biography in which he acknowledges that during that time he was using narcotics. But you're suggesting that the defense is going to have some pretty strong arguments against that.
Well, that's a good point by the CNN anchor there. It's like, well, yeah, he filled out a form. You said there's no evidence, but he filled out a form basically saying that he wasn't on drugs at the time. But he later admitted in a biography that, yes, he was on drugs on the time. So at that it looks like that charge, there's some evidence for that charge at least. And I wonder what her excuse is going to be on why she's doing this.
So most of the gun possession statute talks about statuses that are not really indisputable, right? Like the felon in possession. If you are a felon, which you can prove just on the paper, and you possess a gun, you're guilty. It's a little bit different when you talk about an addict. It's usually very hard to prove. Granted, easier if you're someone who has written an autobiography.
Yeah, he admitted to it. He wrote an autobiography saying, at that time, yes, I was a crackhead, essentially. So I don't know why she's trying to act like, oh no, but there's really no evidence for any of this. Yeah, but he wrote an autobiography saying he was on crack at the time when he had that gun. So, and he lied on a federal form saying that he wasn't on drugs. So there's definitely evidence for this charge at the very least.
But he could come back and say, listen, I was just embellishing. I was writing a book. I wanted to make money off it. I was lying. There's a reason that they don't bring many cases under this subsection, and the proof issue is one of them. It's also inadvisable because, prosecutors and the government and society have an interest in addicts getting clean. And so when you look at someone under the rubric, not of can we charge, do we have the evidence, but should we charge in our discretion? If you look at an addict who says, I'm now clean and I don't even have the gun anymore, is that the kind of case that in your prosecutorial discretion ought to be brought? Prosecutors originally thought,
oh my God, she's actually going out of her way to defend Hunter Biden here in these charges. It's like, imagine if this was Donald Trump Jr. There's no way in hell she'd be doing this. She would be fucking throw the book at this guy. I mean, it doesn't matter what the charges are, throw the book at him. He's going to prison because, he's guilty. He's guilty. Now it's Hunter Biden. Like, oh, come on. I mean, he's a drug addict. I mean, we must help drug addicts. We don't want them on drugs and this, that, and the third and all this other bullshit. But because if it would be Donald Trump Jr., all of a sudden, nope, all that goes out the window. If this was a Trump, it's hypocrisy, just a double standard here. But let's get. I digress. Let's get away from that though. What's going on here? Look, I mean, I think I've said this before, and I'll say it again I said it on my podcast, on my stream, and I'll say it again. They're trying to get rid of Joe Biden. They're trying to replace this guy. They're trying to replace the old, decrepit. He has obviously some sort of dementia. He's sundowning. He's trying to do whatever. They're trying to do whatever it takes to Democrats to get rid of him. So this indictment is definitely, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point down the line his son has more legal troubles. Like, I'm going to drop out of the race. I want to be with my son in his most difficult time in his life. And I'm going to drop out gracefully out of this race and let the party decide their nominee without me. And I'm just going to finish out my term, and then I'm just going to go home and make sure my son is all right and safe. And make sure he stays out of prison. So that's basically what I'm thinking is happening here. That's what I think is happening here. He's definitely going to drop out at some point. This is probably his built-in excuse that his son is in legal trouble, and he wants to spend time with his son during his most difficult moments. So, yeah, this is just breaking news, just something, that just came out literally in the last hour. I wasn't going to make a video today, but I decided to. And if there's more breaking news, I'll definitely be covering it tomorrow afternoon on my show, Angel in the Afternoon. Go check that out. Tomorrow afternoon, most likely between 12:30 and 1, I'm airing it. So I'll be back with you guys right here tomorrow in this channel, and on the INN channel, and on my Twitch, and on my Rumble, and on INN's Rumble, whatever. I'm all over the internet. Twitter, tomorrow afternoon. From my podcast stream, whatever you want to call it. So, if any more news breaks, I'll definitely be covering it tomorrow. I'll also be covering allegedly the CIA paid off some agents in order to make it seem like COVID was a naturally evolving virus and not a man-made one. So that's interesting. I'll definitely be covering that on Friday. I have no opinion one way or another, but I will definitely be covering that. And I'll be probably covering more of this Hunter Biden story once more news breaks. And so much more will be covered tomorrow afternoon. So I want to thank you guys very much for watching this quick little video. Actually, it's closer to 12 minutes, not that quick. But thank you for watching anyways. Please give me a like. Please subscribe. Please follow me on Twitter at AngelJRivera08. Please make sure you share the video. Make sure you give me a comment. Make sure you like. I already said that, but just make sure I said it. Until tomorrow afternoon, I'll see you guys then. Angel in the Afternoon, 12:30, 1 o'clock Eastern. I'm not sure yet, but you'll definitely find out on my Twitter tomorrow. So I'll see you guys then. Peace out.